Hey, and welcome back, everyone, here to Veteran Nation. I am the skipper, and we've got an amazing show for you today. But before we get started, I want everyone to know you can go over to www.nrnplus.com, all spelled out, /VN. That's our landing page. You can subscribe to the network for $79.95 for the year or for $99.95 for the month. So you'll get access to all the great independent contributors that we have here at the network. And we'd love to have you on. You can also check us out. We're on Rumble. You can also find me on Twitter at VetNationNRN. And you can also join our Facebook group. Just search Veteran Nation and it'll come right up. And with today's guest, we have another Marine, just like me. We have Brandon Jones of Indies Coffee. Brandon, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on, man.
Oh, it's great to have you on. And you started your own coffee company. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about your company.
Well, I mean, it all started, people can know this now, but years back, I was a Marine. Okay, so I traveled the world, went to a lot of different places, and got to experience a lot of different cultures. One thing I got to have was good beer, and the other one was good coffee. So when I got out of the new Marine Corps, stuff like that, obviously I went back to finish my college up. And then I actually worked out in Hollywood for years, which I'll get into a little bit, but in a nutshell, how Indies came about is I went out there, I worked, I was big in Hollywood. I did development, worked at CAA, Creative Arts Agency. And I just noticed that there was talent out there that didn't know how to break into the business. It's an industry designed to keep you out, which I can discuss later, but I always wanted to open something that would help discover new visions and voices, because I think people are tired of Hollywood. They're kind of tired of where it's like Hollywood's kind of going the way of the music industry, like with Napster and stuff. So everything's kind of changing right now. So I just really wanted to try to discover new visions and voices. And there's no better come together than coffee. It didn't matter if you were a different religion, a different political standing, whatever. For that little moment, you're sitting down over coffee. You just have a little bit of peace with a cup of coffee and enjoy who you're with. And it's and very rarely, if anybody's ever had experience at a coffee house, very rarely do you get into religion and politics. People are usually just talking about the day, so they just talk about things without getting all into the turmoil of stuff, which I don't know if that's the case anymore. Okay, but that's how it used to be. So, but that's how we kind of came about with the Indies Coffee, so like independent film music. And also my wife will tell you, I have no empathy. The Marine Corps took it out of me. Okay. I don't care if you come crying to me, you're coming to the wrong shoulder. Okay. But when it comes to my vets and it comes to kids, I always have a heart. You know what I'm saying? It's like vets gave without asking anything in return. They volunteered for this. Okay. Some of them didn't come back right, and then of course kids haven't had a choice in their life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they look up to us to guide them properly, and sometimes they're just dealt a bad hand. So like where we're partnered to be an angel is to help kids that don't have money. They're poor. They can't maybe afford the hearing aids, can't afford wheelchairs, things like that. We try to help the kids out and so have a better life. So.
No, that's a great story. And you definitely, you gave me took me back to some memories of, some of my deployments and traveling around the world. Beer and coffee is definitely where it's at.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So as you started this, I'm sure that you came across some challenges, some things that you didn't expect. Can you talk a little bit about those so that people who are thinking about doing their own business can know what to expect?
Man, first off, okay, I'm writing a book. And this is my mother's been kicking me in the ass to do it. Okay. But I'm saying this for a reason. It's called Can't Never Could. Okay. The second you say the word can't, if you want to just get under my skin, say you can't do something. Okay. I've been put through some really rigorous stuff in my Marine Corps life and operator life in the end. So it's like, you can't tell me I can't do something type thing. So, challenges. It would take forever to tell you the different things. Now, I tried to break it down and I say, if you want something bad enough, you will accomplish it. Okay. It's like, don't let anything stand in your way. Be mission driven. I'm very mission driven. When I set my eyes on something, you cannot stop me. I will accomplish it. Okay. But it's been everything from, oh my God, money, family, friends, wrong business partners, everything. Okay. Without going too much into detail, so I don't get in trouble. It started off where I believe my personal philosophy is money's no good unless your friends have it too. Okay. If your friends, if you have all this money, your friends don't have it, then you're still a lonely person because they can't go enjoy the world with you. So I am all about helping people. I love lifting people up. If you have an idea, I will help you get it out there. I'll give you my advice on something. You can take it, you can discard it, whichever. Okay. But I will gladly, like any of your viewers, if they were to email me, okay, over at Brandon@indiescoffee.com, I will answer your question. I will tell you. Now I'm honest. Okay. If it's a dumb fucking idea, I'm gonna tell you it's a dumb idea. Okay. But also don't listen to what I have. I'm not the end all be. Okay. I'll give you my opinion. You don't have to take it. But keep family out of it. Keep friends out of it. If you have a vision, remember it's your vision. When I first started to do Indies Coffee, we were actually calling it the Film Cafe, is what it was first called in its original iteration. Because, like I said, I come from motion picture. Okay, so I mean, I did Two for the Money. Let's see, Georgia Rule, John Took Messiah, Good Shepherd, Man of the Year, and I produced a show for CBS for 2 seasons. So I'm like, it's like I come from that line. I got a really good friend and brought him on. And he did really well. But then we pulled on my other friend that started Twin Peaks. I don't know if you've heard of that place or not. But he came on. He kept trying to change the direction of where we were going. Well, no, you don't need that. You need to do this. Well, what happens in that time is that they start trying to alter your vision. And you'll sometimes you'll go, okay, that makes sense. I'll do that. But then you find out that all I did was waste time and money. Okay, so it's I've gone through everything of having a ton of money to being dead broke. I've been both spectrums, but nothing ever beat me. Okay. Failure is a term used by quitters. Okay. To successful people, it was just a lesson. Okay. It's, I don't believe in failure. I believe in accomplishing the mission no matter what. And don't use the word can't. But we've had to deal with everything from, bringing family on that it's ended up costing us 6 figures doing that, to having friends taking my vision in the wrong way. So when I had the opportunity, I broke it off. I started Indies Coffee, which I can't believe it was actually available. Okay. Because I even have my parent company's Indies Productions. How in the hell was Indies Productions available? But it was. Okay. So it's, so I started that. And ever since I got rid of everybody, it has gone through the roof. It's just taken off because nobody will move at your speed. Nobody will have the passion you have for what it is. Now, saying that, you still have to be able to learn. You have to learn. Okay. I didn't know a damn thing about roasting coffee. I didn't. Okay. I got a roaster. I bought beans and I started roasting. I burned the shit out of them. Okay. I'm just saying, it's like, I didn't know what I was doing, but just through trial and error, it's like, I can honestly say we have the best coffee. That's not trying to promote. I'm just telling you, let me put this in perspective. Okay. Everybody knows Black Rifle Coffee Company. Okay. Now, Evan and Matt, I'm friends with. Okay. So we're not opposed to each other, but I have 2 former Special Forces guys that were getting Black Rifle. And this is just what I know of. Okay. These are 2 people who contacted me personally that now subscribe to us because they said our coffee is better. Okay. 2 Special Forces guys left the Special Forces originator of Black Rifle and went to the Marine operator coffee. That's a lot. Okay. So we know the rivalries we have. So, it's just you'll find what motivates you, find the things that drive you, grab on and go. but learn from people. The second you think you know it all, you'll never learn anything else. Okay, so always be learning. Yeah, we've had ups, we've had downs, but now we're in 28 states, Canada, Puerto Rico, and London. So it's so we're getting out there.
It's funny because I used to work as a barista, and then after I left the Marine Corps for a short time, I worked with a coffee maker company, and got to travel around the world with them. And so I have a very unique appreciation for coffee, but I'm not going to nerd out and start asking you a whole bunch of questions about that, because I know my viewers, they're interested in your coffee. They want to know how to get it. They also want to know how to start their own business. And you've given a lot of great information that, I think definitely can help them out. Have you been able to utilize your ability as a veteran? Like, have you used any special programs or anything?
No, it's okay. I'm actually a disabled vet too. But it's there is stuff out there. There is. I've never really pulled to it. You got to check with the SBA. But a lot of times when you get with Small Business Administration, they have so many freaking regulations and things. It gets to be almost more difficult sometimes. But like you said, helping people start a business, the first thing you have to know is your business. Okay, know your business, know who your competition is, know what the market is. Make sure you have a point for your market. Make sure that you're filling a need. Okay, to get it done. That you're not just duplicating what somebody's like. Let's say we're talking about coffee. Okay. Black Rifle. Okay, and I'm talking in behalf. They are the pro Second Amendment, conservative, deal. I've talked with that. Okay, and I'm like, I'm not trying to take your stuff. Okay, I'm not. That is your market. Okay, I'm not going to go out there and say, hey, let me make another. Hey, no, we're the Second Amendment. We're the conservative one. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I'm doing to where it's like, we deal with, the artists, filmmakers, and musicians. But one thing we do different than them that it's always irritating with other people, not them. I'm saying, I hate it when you're buying something from a business and they say a portion of the sale goes to these things. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, what's the portion? That's like the whole Hillary Clinton freaking thing. It's you don't you're giving like 5% and you're pocketing 55%. Okay, so you're profiting off my vets, you're profiting off the charities. I don't agree with that. Okay, so what we do is we have specific roasts that go to specific charities. Okay, if you want to give to the PTSD Foundation of America, you buy the Apocalypse roast. Okay, it's like from Apocalypse Now. Okay. If you want to give to Wheelchairs for Warriors, you buy the Rolling Valor from Uncommon Valor. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you do these things and the profits go there. Okay. We're not pocketing anything. The profits go there. In fact, I'm swallowing the shipping most of the time, but that's my donation to these things. Okay. Mm-hmm. You're buying it. I'm at least covering the shipping on times, So to me, that's giving. So in fact, there's a certain radio host here that was asking me about my company, and he was acting like he wanted to partner with it. Well, he went with somebody else that's not a veteran, okay, to help PTSD Foundation out. They give 25 cents a pound to the charity. I give over $5 a bag to the charity.
Wow.
Okay, that's the difference. Okay, it's like I'm not here to make money off the vets. I'm not here to make money off the kids' causes. Okay. How does it work out for me? Because everybody goes, well, you got to be doing it for something. Blah, blah, blah. First off, I'll feel good about it. Okay. Because I'm giving back to something. Okay. It's like, I don't believe in being greedy. Okay. I've got enough money. But the second too, now maybe you're sitting here and try our roast. You go, dude, they got some damn good coffee. I wonder what else they have. Next thing you know, you're trying another one of our roasts that I do make money with. Okay. It's like, that's just how it goes. Or you say, this is the best coffee, and you share it with somebody. Now somebody else is there gets. It's just, it gives us name recognition. It gets us out there. I'm not trying to profit off of everything I do. I believe, and there's nothing for your potential business people. Play the long game. Don't play the short game. Okay. If you try to sit there in any get rich quick scheme, okay, it's just that. Okay. You're going to lose money. You're going to waste time. Okay. Think about this is chess, not checkers. Okay. You got to play the long game. Okay. Understand your market, which I can always go into this stuff, telling you what they need to do to get a business started from the very get-go to completion, to marketing, to everything. It probably takes longer than we have, but I don't mind if you ever have me back. I'll explain certain things. But you have to play the long game. Understand where the market is going. In my original thought is, don't duplicate what somebody else is doing. Find what they're doing, wedge your niche off to your personal thing, and fill that niche. Okay. I got crap from somebody a little while back because I didn't just definitively say I'm a conservative. Dude, I'm a freaking Marine. Okay. I'm a Marine. I'm in Texas. What the fuck do you think I am? Okay. But because I come from Hollywood, okay, I also have liberal friends and acquaintances. I have liberal business partners, not business partners, business colleagues I have to deal with. Okay. I don't talk politics. I don't get all of it. Okay. I just don't. I was brought up that you don't talk about politics. You don't talk about religion. Now, if you point blank ask me something, I'm going to give you a point blank answer. But I don't get out there in the Twitterverse and just start freaking bashing people to bash people. Okay. Because I'll be honest, we have some dumbasses on our side too. So it's just the politics and religion is what should remain in your house and not in our schools, not in your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? It's just things like that. It's we've gotten so divided, and we're like that because first off, people have wedged us, okay, into groups instead of put us into groups. But it's just people sometimes need to sit back, take a breath.
No, I totally agree. I think that's that's definitely on point with what we're seeing. And with my show, I'll have anyone on, especially if they're a veteran. I don't care what their political views on. If you have something to say to other veterans that can help other veterans, come on. And that's this whole show is all dedicated to helping veterans, entertaining veterans, and telling their stories. So hearing someone else having a similar view is definitely good for me. Now, there was one thing you did talk about that I want to touch on a little bit more. You said that you have artists and musicians that you're pairing up with. Now, when I went onto your site, I was looking at the different roasts that you have, and I was really impressed with the artwork. The artwork on your bags is nowhere near compared to anyone else's that I've seen so far. Other than I will say I've seen some beer companies who their cans would probably rival it. But can you talk a little bit about the artwork and your philosophy on it?
Okay, it's first off, like I said, it's Indies Coffee, so it's based on entertainment. Okay, so when we have like musical, which is our Light Rose Guatemalan, well, it's basically it's an image of West Side Story. Okay, our Monroe is our blonde. It's a novella is it's like what I'm saying. So everything is based on movie posters that have been altered a little bit. Even our decaf is a silent from the Silent Film of the Man on the Moon. The bullet going into the eye of the moon and stuff like that. The moon's made of cheese, all that kind of crap. But it's our highly okay. First of all, we have one roast that's twice the caffeine. It's called Thriller. If people recognize it, it's from the movie Psycho. Okay, that's what it's from. Okay, and then I have one that this I'm not even gonna take credit for the name because my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law came up with it. Goes, you need to have a roast like this. So I was like, that's freaking genius because I don't care. I'll give credit where credit's due. The 28 roasts later, because they were talking about 28 days later, and they go, oh no, 28 roasts later. So what I do is whenever we do blends, now you'll know if I'm going to go coffee nerd for a second, okay? Where the coffee comes from what region of the world based on the soil, elevation, rainfall, and so forth, creates a certain flavor note to the bean, okay? If you get a Colombian, okay, it's going to be more earthy, nutty, a little more chocolate notes to it, simply because of where it's at. Now, everybody always talks about how great Colombian coffee is. Now, to me, it's good, but it's because you haven't exposed yourself to better and you've been kind of marketed with Juan Valdez. Nicaraguan, okay, is like a mild Colombian with a little bit of the earth notes stuff, but yet it has a little bit of a berry natural follow. It's really a delicious bean. Then you have Guatemalan, which is a little sweeter. You have Kenyan, which is citrusy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like they have different notes. So what we do is when we're coming out with a new roast, like we have an Italian roast getting ready to come out. And we have, I've partnered with you like this. I've partnered with Simplify Funk. So we're actually doing a roast specifically for Simplify Funk. But I'm having to develop these roasts. I don't want I don't want any cup of coffee that we make or any coffee we make that tastes like another coffee. Okay. I want you to be able to say this bag is different than this bag, it's different than this bag, it's different than this bag. So what we do is we sit around and go, what do we want this coffee to taste like? What is the purpose of drinking this coffee? Our breakfast blend. Okay. My wife's going to kill me for saying this, but we blend it between Guatemalan and Kenyan. One's a sweeter note, one's more citrusy note. Because I wanted to have a coffee that when you're eating, let's say, eggs, bacon, sausage, whatever, something that feels fresh when you drink it. So if you're having a breakfast and you drink this breakfast blend, it goes really nice and complements what you're eating. So it's one of our biggest sellers. So that's how we do our blends. So it's whatever. I probably got to derail whatever you're asking or something.
Oh no, I appreciate all the information. Like I said, I love coffee. That's my doctor.
I still got to send you some. I still got to send you some. We're roasting and stuff right now. I'm like, I got your address. I just got to send you a couple bags.
Here's what I'll do. If I get a couple samples, what I'll do is I'll bring someone in and we'll brew some and we'll do a taste test type thing.
How are you gonna prepare it? Are you doing pour over French press or just regular coffee maker?
I've got a traditional coffee pot. I do have a percolator and I do have a French press. So I've got plenty of ways.
Okay, so because I have to grind it a certain way. That's what I'm saying. If it's for a French press, I'll give you a coarser grind. If it's going to be just a regular pot,
however you do it, leave me instructions. I'll make sure that I get it all in.
Gotcha. Okay, but I'll send over a bunch of different samples of all of it so you can taste, because literally they all taste different. In fact, the latest one we've got the biggest compliment on is our decaf. Everybody's like, "Oh, decaf," but all of our beans are organic fair trade. Okay. Our decaf beans are mountain water washed. They don't use chemicals. Okay. It literally tastes like a normal cup of coffee, but you don't have the caffeine. So I just always thought that I want to have something that there's people who can't have caffeine. Okay. They want to have a cup of coffee, but they can't have caffeine. So we do that one so they can actually have a good tasting cup of coffee.
I've had to scold many people who are like, "Oh yeah, I switched to blonde because I wanted something with less caffeine." And I'm like, "Oh no, that's got double caffeine."
Yeah, I tell you, I'm gonna debunk a little something real quick. Okay, we're gonna get into the caffeine and we're gonna go nerdism with coffee.
Okay.
Okay. First off, you have Arabica and you have Robusta. Okay, that's your two beans. Okay, Arabica has about 1.3 to 1.6 caffeine per bean. Okay. Robusta has about a little over 3% caffeine per bean. Okay. So almost twice the caffeine in a Robusta bean versus Arabica. But Robusta tastes like dirt. If you just roasted Robusta and just drank it, it doesn't have a good flavor to it at all. The flavor comes from Arabica. Okay. When you start off with a coffee bean, it's small and green. Okay. Mm-hmm. It does like popcorn in a way. In fact, there's a thing called the first crack. Except you go through where gas is coming out, and water vapors. Okay, now as you roast it, the bean dries out and it gets bigger. Okay, so a light roast bean is one size, where a dark roast bean is bigger. It takes up more space. The light roast bean has 1.3 to 1.6 caffeine per bean on Arabica. It has 1.6 and 1.3 to 1.6 caffeine per bean in the dark roast. You didn't burn out the caffeine. What you did is you made now less beans per volume for a cup of coffee. So you're getting more caffeine in a cup of coffee from a light roast because you're getting more beans that you're getting it from. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. Now the other part is the grind. So when you have a coarser grind, you also have to leave it in the water long enough to pull out more of the caffeine. Where a fine grind, like an espresso grind or Turkish grind, you get more caffeine from it because you're getting such a fine powder out of it. So that's why espressos have so much caffeine, because they're finely ground and it pushes that water through it and extracts all that caffeine and flavor from the beans. So you're maximizing the extraction period. But just so you know, it's not, the blonde doesn't have necessarily more caffeine. It's just more beans per cup, which in a sense means you get more caffeine in your cup of coffee, but not for the reasons most people think.
No, I totally understand. And I appreciate the inside knowledge because there's probably people watching who didn't know. But yeah, that's I'm you're talking my language. I'm a coffee nerd. That's
Dude, I love coffee, man. I better, but I love coffee. I drink the hell out of it.
I don't care what type of coffee it is. When you're out in the field, coffee just tastes better. You can be, you could bring in, some Folgers or give me a crystallized Sanka. It's just going to taste better out in the field because you're out in the field. But yeah, I'm definitely a coffee nerd. Been around the world. That's the beer and the coffee are the two things I want to check out wherever I go.
Oh yeah, that's how you can tell a place. So.
Now you're down in Texas, correct?
Yeah, we're based out of Houston.
Okay.
But obviously we ship all over the world. But we're based out of Houston. I will never leave Texas again, ever. I lived out in California for years. I'm from here. People don't hate me. I'm not a Californian, but I worked out there for Hollywood. My God, man, they have such a beautiful place out there. The weather's perfect. It's the shittiest people I've ever met in my life. So probably just killed like part of the audience out in California. But
people ask me how I can live out in the desert, and I'm like, easy. I don't have to see people.
But I will say inland California is not so bad. It's once you start going closer to the coast, like LA, Newport Beach, things like that. The San Francisco, it's just like they go crazy. I don't know what it is. They just go crazy. San Diego, I love San Diego. But I was out there, I think right before COVID hit. My God, San Diego's changed, man. It's just it used to be so clean of a city. It's like now, dude, there's trash everywhere. There's homeless all over the streets. It's just like, this isn't San Diego, man. I mean, it just caught me off guard.
That's it has gotten definitely dirtier. I won't lie about that. But I think all of California has got that. I've been here over 10 years. I've seen the state go through a lot of changes, and I'm from Ohio originally. So coming out here, people were like, "Oh, you're gonna hate it." I actually quite love it. I'm in some of the freest parts of the country. I can walk down the street and start shooting my weapon. Absolutely, right. No one's gonna bother me.
Everybody says, everybody thinks that they always picture LA. Okay, well, it's like, dude, I mean, even in going into Riverside, Temecula, Fallbrook, it's like they're nice little towns, and they don't have all the craziness going on. Once you go inland, it's like people get to be more sane. I don't know what it is. Once they go inland, they're more sane. So
Northern California doesn't even feel like California if you ever go up there. So it's definitely an interesting state. I'm enjoying living here. I don't know if I'll live here the rest of my life. You seem to really love Texas.
Well, it's just, I mean, in all honesty, it's just the thing. To be fair, it's like we have a really good corporate tax structure here. We don't have a state income tax. It's just now I'm still more of I'm still a little bit of a country boy. So I mean, I still don't really care for Houston that much. It's I mean, it's not a bad city, but it's just like it's not as down home, help people out as much as it used to be. When I was growing up, I remember meeting with my dad. We pulled off the side of the road to help him with a tire. You just don't see that anymore. It's kind of sad. You just don't see that anymore. And so it's all changing, but it's more honestly because of these things. Everybody's getting so self-absorbed that they don't care about anybody else anymore. And it's like, I don't know. This is going to sound weird, but it's like I literally stop and talk to everybody. If I don't care if you're a homeless person, I don't care if you're a rich person, I don't care if you're the waitress or whatever. You're all equal to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't put anybody on a pedestal. You put your pants on the same way I do. I put the same pants on the same way you do. It's just like, people need to just stop and get along. They really do. They need to get along.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I think what you guys are doing out there is definitely a step in the right direction. I appreciate you leading the way on, helping so many people with your company.
We do what we can. We do what we can. It's
it's appreciated. And me doing this on this show, I want to sing the praises of people like yourselves. So thank you again for joining us today. I do want to give you a chance to plug where people can find you, or they can buy the coffee, whatever you think people should know.
Well, it's the first off, I want to give a shout out. I'm going to say his handle because it's that's how everybody knows him. The paratrooper vet. Okay. He does a lot, man. He really does care about the PTSD and people. He contacted me the other day through DM, and I think it's like 1 minute I got back with him. And it's he was asking me if I could help somebody. And it's like, dude, I will give anybody my phone number. I don't care if you have any issue. You got to talk to somebody. Talk to me. Okay, I don't care. I'll help how I can. But I also had to tell him too. It's like we lose 22 vets a day. Okay, it's like you can't save them all. I'm not trying to sound callous here. What I'm saying is I know how he feels sometimes. You can't carry the weight. Do what you can. Know that you did what you can, but don't carry the weight, because it's like there's anybody who's ever been in combat or whatever. If you start carrying weight of things, it's a pack you'll never get off your back. You know what I'm saying? So you got to do what you can and know you did what you can. Now, people can go to us at indiescoffee.com. That's INDIES. You can tweet me or whatever. My Twitter handle is @IndiesCoffee. Okay, I'm Brandon Jones @IndiesCoffee. I don't really do the social media. My wife does it. So all you guys that have seen my wife, I know you're going to start trying to follow me on freaking Facebook and Instagram now. So it's like she makes me look good. Okay, I'm just saying. I know my place. But please pay attention to vets. That's all I say. It's pay attention to vets. Help kids out whenever you can, and just help us grow. Help us get it out there. We do a lot of things with PTSD Foundation. We do a lot of things with Wheelchairs for Warriors, Simplify Fund, and Be an Angel. If you have a charity that you want us to do a roast, contact me, Brandon @indiescoffee.com. I will sit there. I will look into the charity. Okay, I'm not going to just blindly do this. But it's like if you want to do that, it's like I'll make a special run roast for your charity and help you raise money. Okay, it's just, I'll do that. Okay, as long as it is a straight legit charity. I don't want the charity of Little Bo Peep freaking lost her sheep, stuff. But it's we'll if it's a legitimate one, like we're also looking at police. It's the children of fallen police officers. So we're looking at that one as well. But yeah, just if anybody's got any questions, just let me know.
I'll definitely, if I find some, if you're open to it, I'll send them your way, because that's a lot of what I do here. I bring nonprofits on that want to be put in contact with veterans. When veterans contact me, I try to put them in contact with nonprofits that can help. So there's plenty that I've already talked to that you can see my interviews with them, and
send them our way. Send them our way. It's like I said, I truly love what we do. I love helping people. Okay. If you ever want to have me back on to just talk about straight business,
sure.
It'll probably be a 3, 4, 5 episode deal. But because it's not just, you can't just talk in an hour and also all questions are answered. I will gladly help people that are wanting to get a business out there. I will tell them the steps and the process that you have to do in order to do it, so they can learn from the mistakes I've made and from my errors, so you don't have to go and negotiate them yourself. So I don't mind helping people out do that, even if it's for another coffee company. I don't care. I'll tell you how to do it. I really don't care.
No, absolutely. And likewise, I'll extend to you, if you ever want to come back on, if you guys are doing a special roast and you're like, hey, this is a really good cause, by all means, reach out to me. I'll have you guys on again. Because I think what you're doing is great. And I enjoyed talking to you. And I know a lot of the things you're saying, I'm like, I could just totally nerd out. So. Oh
yeah. So if it makes you feel better, I'm getting ready as soon as we get up here. I'm going back into the roastery, going down the street to the shop. So I have a lot of orders to fill and things to do. So I'm still gonna be working till probably 1 a.m. So.
Well, I just want to sing your praises, and if you get me a couple samples, I'll bring on someone else. We'll try them. We'll give some reviews. So some of the people watching, if you want to know which ones we recommend that you buy, we'll go ahead and do that, because I think this is definitely a great thing that you're doing.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And for everyone, thank you for joining us today. And as always, you can go and you can subscribe to our network at www.nrnplus.com/BN. We also now have merchandise. So this show, we're pushing out our Teespring link where we have merchandise. So if you want to, support our show, all the money goes right into the production of this show. You can do that for subscribing. It's going to be $79.95 for the year, $9.95 for the month. And yeah, you're going to get access to this show, a lot of great other independent creators who are on this network. And yeah, we've got some exciting things coming up here in the next week. We're going to go to the Reawaken America tour in 2 weeks. It looks like I'm going to be going to Combat Con up in Las Vegas. So a lot of really cool things that we're going to be doing. A little bit outside the box, but this is the vision that I had when I started this show, was going to different places, talking to different people. COVID has thrown a big curve for me for a year, but now we're out of it. We're going to be doing some really cool stuff. So I hope you stick around with us. And for those of you out there, thank you for being worth serving.